Hey guys, what's up? It's Finch here. Today we're going to be discussing the sample teams in the SSOU subforum. For those of you that don't know, I did a video on them right after DLC came out. Myself, the moderation team, and other prominent SSU players gathered together some of our favorite, some of the best teams, and put them all in a thread. Those can be found here in the archive of those original teams, and they're basically just some teams that represented the initial SSU metagame. However, recently, with the World Cup Pokemon Round 1 happening and other metagame developments happening, we elected to come up with a whole new collection of teams that people could potentially use in their own games, be it on the ladder or in tournaments, if they're trying to find a grass for the tier, if they just want to try something new, etc. So I actually was responsible for 4 or 5 of these teams. It really depends on your topic, but also Jordy, Brofist, and Exxon Raptor came up with some of the other teams, so big shout out to those guys in particular. But anyway, we're going to go through all 8 of these teams that I have listed and I gathered for the thread, as I'm the host of the thread, as you can see here. And we're going to discuss them, how they might function in metagame, and I'm going to be sure to link the OP of this thread as well as the teams in the description below. So if you guys want to try these teams out yourselves, then hey, free teams for you guys, free samples in the SSU metagame, a pretty varied assortment of teams. We have 3 teams with Hippowdon plus Mandibulas plus Hippowdon plus Toxapex, unfortunately. But on top of that, we also have some more creative, bulky offenses like the Dual Ghost team and the Dual Electric team, as well as the Sun teams and even a Stall team. So we're going to get through all that now. The first team is a team that I use against Solwind in the World Cup Pokemon. It has Hippowdon, Mandibuzz, Toxapex, Magearna, Cinderace, and Dragapult. It's a pretty solid team. Basically, the idea was I wanted to use Specs Magearna because it's an amazing progress maker on the offensive end, and I wanted to use Toxapex as a great wall on the defensive end. So I wanted to take 2 of the best Pokemon in the metagame and pair them together because I felt like that would give me the best chance of winning this very important match against Solwind for the World Cup Pokemon. A game which, by the way, I did narrate on my channel. You could find it. I uploaded it within the last week or so definitely check that out. But anyway, these 2 Pokemon, I knew right off the bat I wanted to take advantage of Magearna. So Magearna's main switch-ins were things like special walls like Blissey and Chansey, and I guess special defense Jirachi as well, coupled with the poison types that were generated to take flare cannons such as Toxapex and Amoonguss. So because of that, I knew I wanted to take advantage of volt switching in all those Pokemon. So the main idea was if I get Zen Headbutt damage on the Toxapex, it's dead after volt switch chip. And obviously Cinderace threatens out Amoonguss as well, and I could do a lot of special walls like Jirachi and the 2 pink blobs. Because of that, I knew I wanted to pair the Magearna with Cinderace. In particular, I ran the 4 attack set with the Pyro Ball, Gunk Shot, Zen Headbutt, and Heavy Duty Boots. It's really strong in this metagame, and also, given that I had Dragapult later on, I was even able to avoid running the Adamant Nature. Speaking of Dragapult, it was the next Pokemon I added. It gave me a speed control option, gave me a fighting immunity, and it gave me a Ghost type, which is really threatening in this metagame right now. And in addition to that, I also ran a Thunder Wave variant, which helped a lot with Specs Magearna as it slows down things like Clefable, Mandibuzz, etc., which obviously you already take advantage of, but now all of a sudden they're less likely to be able to protect to scout your move or get faster knockoffs against you, etc. It could even Thunder Wave things like Sucker Punch or Urshifu and Cinderace, slowing them down to make it so that Magearna can revenge kill them too, which is amazing. And it also boosts its own Hex, of course. Beyond that, I also wanted to add Mandibuzz to the team as it gives me a check to things like opposing Dragapult with Ghost Resist, ability to be immune to Earthquake, something to check Alakazam as I ran a specially defensive set, and last but not least, also Defogger as well. And to round the team out, I knew I wanted an electric immunity, a physical sponge to check things like Cinderace, Bisharp, Zeraora, and also Stealth Rocker. So I ran Stealth Rock plus Toxic, physically defensive Hippowdon, and in addition, the core of Hippowdon plus Mandibuzz plus Toxapex gives me great counterplay to any choice variant of Urshifu. I was a little weak to bulk up Urshifu, but I did have Thunder Wave on the team and Haze on Toxapex, so not all hope was lost. So yeah, that was probably my favorite team of the bunch, and honestly my favorite team overall right now, the Choice Specs Magearna balanced team that I use against Solon in the World Cup Pokemon. However, that is not the only team here. There's also a team brought to you by Jordy, a bulk up Corviknight sand balanced team. Don't worry guys, not every team's going to be balanced, not every team's going to have sand, but this one in particular used some really cool things such as Substitute plus bulk up Corviknight, and on top of that, it was able to function with Trick plus Choice Scarf Clefable. So basically, if you trick the Scarf to something like Rodent Heat, or Toxapex, or opposing Whirlwind to Powdon, or whatever it might be, then all of a sudden sweeping with sub-bulk up Corviknight becomes so much easier. The built-in synergy between those two is really cool. And also, Clefable is a really underrated Pokemon that's being highlighted in the metagame a lot right now. And it's really cool seeing it cripple things left and right and open the game up for Corviknight and also open the game up for Excadrill, which also does great against those Pokemon. And if you're able to trick something like Corviknight, then it's even better. Yeah, Excadrill serves a good purpose in this team. And rounding the team out, we also have a Powder Pump plus Toxapex to form a similar defensive course to the one we saw last team. It's really great, obviously, able to help against things like Cinderace with both these Pokemon, and also having Poison Every Other Generator is really helpful for checking fires like Clefable and Floor Cannon from the Magearna. And rounding the team out, Nasty Plot Hydreigon gives us Pokemon faster than Pokemon like Urshifu and Rotom Heat. In addition, Dark type to have at least a Pseudo Ghost resist on a team without Mandibuzz, and Nasty Plot with Wise Glasses, which is really cool. So Flash Cannon at +2 can take care of Clefable, because otherwise, potentially, Calm Mind plus Thunderbolt variants could be annoying, and in addition to that, it could just help keep longevity of teams alive, so it could definitely poke holes for your teams there. Hydreigon is a great option, of course. Next up, we have a Charizard Sun offense brought to you guys by Brofist. Now, a lot of you guys might recognize this team from Joey's channel. For those of you that came from Joey's channel, by the way, thank you guys so much for your support. I was just on his channel yesterday. It does really mean the world to me that I have this support from you guys. I love helping you guys out with the game, and I'm looking forward to using this channel to help just a lot of new players get better. I get PMs every day saying, oh, I just finally hit, 1,400, 1,500, 1,600 ladder for the first time, thanks to your team support, thanks to your help. And I just want to let you guys know, keep the PMs coming, keep the comments coming. I love hearing about your guys' accomplishments and what you're doing with the game. It's just amazing, the sense of community that we're building, and I definitely want to keep that growing in the future. Unfortunately, though, only 55 to 60% of you guys are actually subscribed. So if you guys enjoy the videos, you could throw a subscription my way. It would mean the world to me. If you guys need more time, though, be sure to just keep watching the videos and let me know what you think. I'm also always open to feedback in the comments below. So again, hit me up in the comments and we'll have a great conversation. And hopefully we could work to make this channel the best place possible. But speaking of some of the best things possible, this is one of the best Sun teams possible right now. Brought to you by Brofist. He used it in the World Cup Pokemon against Malekith in our last game. He actually, unfortunately, used Blaze Cinderace, but it obviously is intended to be Libero. Anyway, the team makes use of a cool Blissey set with Teleport and Heavy Duty Boots, which is kind of a craze in the metagame right now that's just really starting to be used a lot as a pivot. And it opens the game up when Sun is set for Cinderace, Venusaur, and Charizard offensively a ton. And Corviknight rounds things out. Physically defensive, helps with Excadrill, helps remove hazards, and slow U-turn as well. Just go Pokemon by Pokemon. Venusaur is intended to be a revenge killer in Sun and also a sleeper with Growth and Sun. Very strong with the Giga Drain plus Sludge Bomb plus Weather Ball coverage, and modest with Life Orb. It's great. Charizard is the single strongest Pokemon in the tier in Sun right now. Virtually nothing counters it. You can 2-KO things like Chansey and Blissey. You can one-shot resist like Hydreigon and Dragapult, and you could even 2-KO Toxapex as well, even special defensive variants with Overheat and Flamethrower and Weather Ball, and the Sun is amazing. And Focus Blast, just to help out with things like Hydreigon outside of Sun, as we saw in my OU Live with Sun a couple of days back, and hitting Tyranitar if it's used as well. As we said before, Blissey is a pivot. Torkoal can obviously set up Sun with Heat Rock, but also Stealth Rock and other utility like that. And around the team out, we have Cinderace with Libero. You can replace it with a Scarf to Manatan or something like Urshifu too. But I personally prefer Cinderace in this slot in particular, if only because it's just a great Pokemon. It threatens things that can potentially take advantage of Venusaur as well, complementing each other very nicely. And in Sun, Power Ball is a nuke and a half, guys. Definitely try out the Sun team. It's really potent, and it's a big departure from the balanced teams we saw above, so definitely very threatening as well. Next up, we have another team built by myself, one that I used in the World Cup of Pokemon against Luigi in a game that I unfortunately fell short in, but that game is also on my channel. Be sure to check those games out if you're interested in my games for the World Cup of Pokemon. But anyway, it consists of Clefable, Rotom Heat, Ferrothorn, Mandibuzz, Zeraora, and Cinderace. The core of Zeraora and Cinderace is infamously dubbed as the quote-unquote dual furry core. This is how they look, I guess, but basically it's a common archetype. I don't love the name, so we're going to go ahead and refrain from referring to that in the future, but basically two fast Pokemon of using heavy duty boots and complement each other nicely. Volt Switch from the Zeraora opens the team up to bring in, they bring in their grass types like Amogus and Tangrowth, and then Power Ball, Gunk Shot, U-Turn from Cinderace can threaten them easily, so they synergize really nicely on the offensive end, and they give the team ample speed control. The team actually is a bit more bulky offensive than it is balanced too, because it has not only these two, but also U-Turn from Mandibuzz to generate momentum, and also a Nasty Plot Rotom Heat with Toxic, which is always forcing progress in games, which is great. Then to round the team out, we have Mandibuzz for Defog, Ghost Resist, and helping with Excadrill. More physically defensive oriented Ferrothorn with Leech Seed, Body Press, Spikes, and Knockoff, which is just great. It also matches up really nicely with Common Defoggers and a Stealth Rock plus Knockoff Clefable. Oh my god, I'm too used to N, you guys. Sorry about that, Clefable. But yeah, what's really cool is this team has 4 heavy duty boots users in Rotom, Heat, Mandibuzz, Zeraora, and Cinderace, in addition to a Magikarp Pokemon. So only one Pokemon takes damage from Stealth Rock and Spikes off the bat, and nothing takes damage from Toxic Spikes off the bat. Of course, if they get a knockoff, then it's a different story. But yeah, that hazard immunization on this team is really cool. An aspect of it that means that you aren't overly reliant upon the Mandibuzz, so you could use it as more of a pivot. And I quite like how that opens up the game for Zeraora and Cinderace, and I definitely would recommend you trying that out because it's a cool concept. Not only the core of the Cinderace and Zeraora, but also the ability to kind of bypass hazards in the early game and really focus on making progress. Next up, we have a stall team by Exxon Raptor, a good friend of mine and a really strong player, underrated at that for Team Latin America. He's played in tournaments like SPL Snake and the World Cup Pokemon, and he's undoubtedly really good. This time around, he built a stall team, which he used to defeat my friend and teammate Marco P, or Gilbert Arenas, actually someone who I went to school with in real life too. Marco's a really great dude, but unfortunately, he fell just short to this team. And especially defensive Mandibuzz, which helps against things like Alakazam and Dragapult really nicely, coupled with a Citrus Berry Quagsire to help check Maracalola or any other Poltergeist user, as well as it eats up the Citrus Berry and then is able to withstand a follow-up attack after that. It also has Rotom Heat for utility and just making progress, forcing progress. It's great. Also gives you an Ice Resist and another Fairy Resist on top of Amoonguss. The next one, which pairs great with Mandibuzz and Clefable to help check Urshifu. And speaking of Clefable, that and the Chansey round out the team. It's stall, you know what they do basically. Clefable honestly gives you a lot of different things. It could be win condition, it could be longevity, etc. Well, it just depends on how you play it and what the matchup is, but it's a really nice and cohesive stall team. So thank you to Raptor for volunteering this team. And also, thank you Bump to Brofist for saying he could use his team for this threat as well. And Jordy, of course, my fellow OU moderator and one of the forum leaders. He's a really great guy and contributor too. Anyway, the last 3 teams, 2 of which I helped build with friends. Insult used this game in his team in his 3rd World Cup game against Santu, where he fell short, unfortunately, but he wanted to use the dual ghost core of Gengar plus Dragapult, so I helped throw this together. It actually was a really cool team. We used Nasty Plot 3 attacks Life Orb Gengar, a Pokemon that I find underrated. In fact, recently I made a post in the viability ranking saying it should be moved up into the A ranks because it's a really devastating Pokemon in the conventional defensive cores. On top of that, it also uses a cool Dragapult with Dragon Darts, Hex, Thunder Wave, and U-Turn. It's able to be a mixed threat, so Dragon Darts is great for things like Chansey, Blissey, and more importantly, Quiver Dance, Volcarona. Thunder Wave helps open up the game for Rhyperior and Gengar, as well as slowing things down, in particular, things like Volcarona and Clefable and Magearna. In U-Turn, Hex, just pretty self-explanatory move than Dragapult. It also has a Wish plus Teleport Clefable, which allows you to heal up Rhyperior and Gengar repeatedly, giving you more of a longer access to both Pokemon as they lack recovery. Mandibuzz and Toxapex form a defensive backbone, helps check things like Urshifu, and in addition to all of that, Mandibuzz is great against Ghost types and Psychic types defensively, so that's helpful. And Toxapex is there, just as a great sponge, status absorber. Yeah, it can also help dish out damage slowly but surely, and check things like Cinderace on top of Rhyperior rounding out the team, as is a great answer to Rotom Heat. It's also a soft check to Cinderace. Unfortunately, it leaves the team reliant on the Mandibuzz for Excadrill, but it also gives you a check for Togekiss and Rotom Heat, which Hippowdon doesn't do. I guess you could use Hippowdon over Rhyperior here in theory, but I just like the lack of flying resist. I just like the Rotom Heat matchup otherwise, especially since you're Thunder Wave, not like Specs or like full-out special attacking Dragapult. So yeah, it complements the team really nicely, and with Wish Support Clefable, it works like a charm, especially because it's a nice offensive threat with Swords Dance and Adamant as well. So yeah, anyway, beyond that, we also have 2 more teams. One is a team I built last night, actually. TPP told me that I should use the first 5 Pokemon. Would be a really great standard way to just add a sort of archetype, which is, yeah, it's fair. Basically, the archetype is you want to have a nice defensive backbone with the Toxapex Mandibuzz defensive core, which we've seen a couple times, plus Clefable, oh my god, I did it again, for longevity, and Excadrill for just, being a great Pokemon in metagame. It gives you a Volt Switch immunity, it gives you a Fairy Resist, it also just poses a major threat with Toxic, so yeah, that was basically the idea of the defensive backbone in Dragapult for speed control and the ability to be immune to close combat, plus generate momentum, spread status, etc. I wanted to run the team out with Rillaboom as it made it so that there was less pressure on Mandibuzz for checking Excadrill. It gives you an ability to revenge kill Alakazam and opposing Excadrill without potentially relying on Dragapult, and also Grassy Terrain is really helpful for Dragapult. Clefable, and Toxapex surviving specific hits. In fact, their Toxapex EV spread in particular was letting it so that you're able to handle a Adamant Zen Headbutt Cinderace and Grassy Terrain. So that particular is really cool. Yeah, I just thought including a Rillaboom team would be really great. And another thing I really wanted to include a team with was Urshifu. So the last team was focused on Urshifu. It's another team I built recently, basically centered around Choice Band Urshifu. And we made use of Corviknight because we already have a Dark type in Urshifu. So I wanted to try it over Mandibuzz, and it actually worked like a charm here. Just means a bit more of a specially defensive Clefable to help check things like Dragapult, and also Dragapult of our own to infuse all the status on our team with Hex. And rounding out the team in Powdon as a physical wall, and also Toxapex just to sponge hits. Those two also help with Cinderace, Bisharp, etc., Hawlucha, you name it. Yeah, it was a really nice team. It rounded out really nicely. I just said nice like 5 million times in the same sentence, so pardon that. But yeah, these are 8 teams that I view to be particularly effective in the current metagame. Definitely let me know your thoughts on them in the comments below. Which team is your favorite? What Pokemon do you think should be included? What teams maybe shouldn't be included? And also, do you think you're going to try these teams out? And if so, which one? And if you do try them out, let me know your thoughts on them as well once you play them out. Definitely really excited for this set to be up. It's a great resource to the entire community, and I love helping you guys out. And if you guys would like to help me out, then if you guys can go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Only like 55 to 60% of you guys, sorry about that, actually subscribe to my channel. So every video gets, 600, 700 viewers that actually aren't subscribed, and all you guys are repeat viewers. So if we could, cut that in half and make half you guys subscribers, I get so much closer to my next big goal of hitting 5,000 subscribers, which would just be absolutely amazing, guys. I'm going to try and unveil some new stuff for the channel as well. I'm working on getting a better mic. I actually have that purchase already made and at my house, but I haven't really fully figured it out yet, which is unfortunate. We're definitely still working with that. Going to be in the next week or two, though, for sure. Don't worry. I got it under control. And on top of that, I might also have a new series coming to you guys soon in early August, so definitely keep your eyes up for that. If we hit 5,000, I might give you guys a bit of a sneak peek on that. But yeah, no, subscription would mean the world to me, guys. On top of that, again, comment. Not only is it great for the algorithm, but I love interacting with you guys. Talking with you guys makes my day every day. And if you enjoy the videos, leave a like. So yeah, have a great day, guys. And thank you so much for watching. All right, it's Finch. Peace out.